Hey guys, Anime Gypsy here with another One Piece discussion video. Now in this video I'll be discussing the Big Mom Pirates, obviously from the title. Now I'm gonna go through all the members of the Big Mom Pirates from the least importance to the most important characters. Now in the beginning of this list is Bobbins, and obviously since he's the first character, I think he is the least important. And to be honest, I don't even get why he is a character in One Piece period, because he is the most irrelevant character I have ever seen in One Piece, ever, and I'm including filler characters. All right, that aside, Peckham's. Honestly, I think that the situation with Peckham's is that Big Mom and Luffy are gonna somehow make up for what happened, is probably because of the cake. Because I don't see another way that Big Mom is not going to kill Luffy, Big Mom's crew in general. There is no escapable, feasible plan for Luffy right now without Big Mom's permission. So Luffy has to get Big Mom's permission, and when that happens, probably Peckham's is gonna be pardoned for his actions. That's basically my perception on that. In terms of combat, Peckham's is a decently strong character, and he is the second on this list, which should tell you something about Big Mom's military might. That a character that I consider the second worst in a crew of, is basically a very decent fighter to the point where he could take a Logia user one-on-one. Granted, that Logia user particularly was a scrub, but nonetheless, he has awesome command of armament hockey, which just adds to the point of Big Mom's crew being way above, being way above the Straw Hat crew, because there are so many members with hockey capabilities, so many members that just outclass the Straw Hats at this point. In fact, I think that most of the Straw Hats are gonna be weaker than, I'd say, the seventh character in this list. Yeah, the seventh character. So the person after Peckham's is Tamago, and honestly, I see Tamago as a very decent fighter. Tamago has a bounty of 460 or 50 million, and his fighting ability has been proven to be just beyond, it was priceless seeing him fight Pedro. I really liked that fight scene in particular. Can't wait to see it animated, because I'm a huge Pedro fan. And for those who read the manga, yeah. Okay, that aside, after Tamago is Pudding. Now the reason I say Pudding is because Pudding isn't that strong a character, but because of her devil fruit, I see her having a lot of significance. And I mean a lot of significance later on in the story, which is why I put her on this list over here. Now, in terms of combat ability, I think she could handle marksmanship very well, because she's proven herself with a gun. I think this isn't the only time we will see her with a gun, because I think that's her forte, in particular in combat, basically, that she uses guns. Now, after Pudding is Burlet, and the reason Burlet is on this list, even though I think she, at this point, even though I think she is weaker than Tamago, is because she has a very unique capability, and that is the capability to transport things through the mirror world, a separate dimension. She basically has command of a pocket dimension. Well, it's not a pocket dimension, but she has a command over a separate dimension where she could just enter and leave at her leisure, and that makes her an extremely valuable character moving on. Now, the next characters are ministers. Okay, let's dive right in. Charlotte Galat. Now, Galat, we see her somehow manipulating water in that fight with Luffy and Nami. Now, in my perspective, Galat has what I personally call elemental hockey, and that is the ability to manipulate an element via hockey. And we've seen this ability many times in the manga and anime. Notably, Doflamingo with his overheat, and Luffy with his Thor elephant gun and Red Hawk. I even think that Viola's whale tears is a product of Haki manipulation and not her devil fruit. That would explain how she was able to make them hard and how she basically produced them in the first place. Now, after Golette, Daifuku. I think Daifuku is a very strong character. He was able to basically play with Sanji, which in my perspective makes him at about a 450 million berry mark. Because if he was as strong as Sanji, I think you'd have around a 300 something berry mark. Now, Daifuku, in terms of characterization, I said this in multiple videos, I think he is a natural born leader. And Oda's been leaving snippets to prove that. He's been seen in front of the company that was in charge of attacking Germa. He was the person that reported back about the progress against Germa. He was the person that, I need not say anymore. Just go read the chapters and look at what Daifuku is doing, and you'll notice that you see a lot of leadership qualities in him. The ability to communicate to underlings and lead them into different things, or just basically to manage them. See, so he's a good manager of basically people. Now, after Daifuku is Oven. I honestly think Oven is just as strong as Daifuku. I think that he is basically we don't really get a lot of characterization, so I want to say that he would have the same basic persona as Daifuku, but who knows? Maybe he can't lead for shit. Well, shouldn't have said that. Okay, never mind. After Oven is Montor, and the reason Montor is this high in this list is because I believe Montor is the Big Mom Pirates strategist. You heard me right, strategist. And that's because you see him taking command right after the cake falls. You see him in this room with a map. That basically is a clear indicator of knowledge of strategy, because he is looking at the surrounding area and trying to dictate what happens next in terms of the progression of the assault on the Straw Hat Pirates. Now, after Montor, I have Compatre, the first daughter, or Compate. And basically, I think Compate is as strong as Perospero, but we just don't get that much characterization on her. And the reason I'm saying this is because she was mentioned alongside the 5 or 6 that the Gang Beige's right-hand man was talking about, where he said that, oh my god, these guys they were very comforting having them as allies, but now that we have them as enemies. And her being the first daughter only makes sense that she is very strong, along with the fact that she was mentioned in that group of people. Now, the first and most notable person before we get to the Sweet Commanders is Perospero. And I really didn't want that to be, but just seeing his bounty, 700 mil, that is the highest non-commander bounty we have seen. It just, I know that bounty does not translate to strength, but there is a clear correlation. There is. That's why Bellamy doesn't have a 500 million berry bounty. I mean, you could argue about it all you want, but there is a clear correlation between power and bounty. It's not always the case like Chopper. Chopper should have a probably a 50 million berry bounty. If I'm feeling good, like 70. Probably. But in general, there is a correlation. Now, after that, let's go to the Sweet Commanders. Now, the first Sweet Commander I'm going to talk about is the former Commander Snack. And I've determined that his bounty is between 700 million and 860 million, because it only makes sense that the commanders have the highest bounties aside from Big Mom. And the highest bounty we know of thus far from a non commander individual is Perospero's bounty of 700 mil. Now, Cracker has an 860 million berry bounty, and Big Mom thought it was logical to send Cracker to fight Uruj, which I'm gonna make a video about, by the way, so keep watch. She thought it was wise to send Cracker after Snack got defeated by Uruj, which means that she thinks that Cracker is stronger than Snack, which means that his bounty is probably lower than Cracker's. Yeah, so it has to be between Perospero's bounty and Snack's bounty. And I think Snack is a very strong individual, contrary to popular belief nowadays in the manga in the One Piece community. And I'm gonna make a video about why I think he got defeated by Uruj, but that's for another time. I'm gonna continue Cracker. Now, with Cracker, I don't think we have seen all that he is able to do. I think there's a lot more promise to Cracker, but we just didn't get to see it because he was taken by surprise in my perspective. He didn't expect an attack like that, and that just proves that without his armament Haki, his defenses are very low. His durability without Haki is very low, which is why his armament Haki especially is on point, and why he is a armament Haki specialist. Now, I think we're gonna see more of him. I don't think he is dead. I think the next time we'll see him, we'll probably be at the final war, at the last arc of One Piece, fighting some insanely powerful guy. Oh, I missed someone actually. Strusen. Strusen I put right above Perospero, because I actually think Strusen's bounty is going to be higher than Perospero, because I think he's an extremely powerful individual, but we just don't get to see him in the limelight nowadays. Well, actually no, I don't think he's going to have that high of a bounty, but I think he's going to be a bit more powerful than Perospero. And the reason I'm saying this is because I don't think he had a chance to show the world government what he's got, because I think that right after other members started being produced, he stopped his pirating and kind of laid back. So I think his bounty is around like just 400 million, 500 million, but his actual ability equates to something like 900 million, 800 million type range, along with the commanders, or something of the sort. Actually, no, lower. I think his ability would translate as in bounty as like 750 million about. Now that we got Strusen aside and I just finished Cracker, let's talk about Smoothie. Now, Smoothie, we all had high expectations for, but unfortunately she didn't deliver. I think she will deliver in the final war. I don't think she's necessarily gonna win a fight there. There's no telling what's gonna happen because it's so far forward. But I think that we're gonna see the full potential of her ability during that arc, and I think that one of the reasons why she didn't use her abilities in the wedding ceremony and when the cake was falling was simply because for some reason using her abilities would endanger others. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Or using her abilities wouldn't be suitable in that particular place. And I think she has some sort of weird ability that she could do, like juicing the area around her, and that somehow could, like, I don't know, cause a lot of like damage that she really couldn't control that well. That's the only thing that comes to mind as to why she didn't do jack shit during this arc. Now, honestly, I think she's a disappointment, but it's too early to judge because I think we're going to see more of her in the final war. Now, Smoothie aside, we finally go to Cracker, to Katakuri, otherwise known by the fans as Dogtooth. Now, Katakuri, in my perspective, is just extremely overpowered, in a good way, because that shows he's in the same league as people like Jack the Drought. Probably, I'd say stronger because I think that Kaido has a stronger commander than Jack. I don't think that Oda would reveal the final disaster of calamity of Kaido at the Zou arc. I think he's leaving that to Wano. It's part of the Wano hype. I think there is going to be someone under Jack though. I think that if anything, he would be the smoothie of Kaido's crew. But I'd say he's a lot stronger than Smoothie because honestly, I'm very disappointed that we didn't get to see more of Smoothie. Sorry, the hiccups. So Katakuri's ability to foresee stuff is very nice because it brings an entire dynamic to the ability spectrum of One Piece that we have seen before, but we're just going to get an expanded version of, because if you remember, NL could basically do the same thing with fighting maneuvers, but now it's been updated so that he could particularly see choices being made, words being said, whispers being whispered, and decision, like basically he could do more. It's an update of observation hockey, and I think that just brings an entire spectrum to the power, to the range of powers in One Piece. And I'm 100% sure there's going to be another update of armament hockey and another update of observation hockey and yet another update of armament hockey. But that being said, finally, actually no, the Mochi ability of Katakuri. A lot of people say that Katakuri will teach Luffy how to make stuff around him rubbery, but I don't think that's the case. I think he's gonna get an upgrade. Luffy's gonna get an upgrade after Pedro, rest in peace, died in his fight against Katakuri. But I think that Luffy will ultimately lose to Katakuri because I think Katakuri is just leagues above him now. Now that being said, I think that his Logia ability, especially his, because it could act like an extra arm that could just extend, just like Luffy's, but his is like stickier, is very handy with his observation because he could see something way over there and be able to stop it by extending his arm like Mochi, like Luffy would be able to do if he would have awakened this ability with armament hockey. Now, that being said, Luffy may learn advanced observation hockey from Katakuri, but it will take a while. It won't be this arc. But I think he's going to get an upgrade this arc. He has to, if he would stand a ghost of a chance against the monstrosity. And I think he's going to get another update in Wano. Now, after Katakuri, the insane big bitch herself, Big Mom. I think she has the elemental hockey ability I was just talking about. I think that she could control fire and lightning, and the reason I'm saying this is because if you remember during the Elbaf flashback, the Elbaf village was on fire. Yes, I think she was able to unconsciously use hockey at the tender age of 9. Yeah. Which says a lot about her. She is a fucking monster. Now that being said, her soul ability, her devil fruit, is very potent, and some people think that it was nerfed, but actually if you read the first chapters, you'll see that Gillette was told by other pirates in Big Mom's crew that if you fear Big Mom, then she'll take your soul, which was foreshadowing for the full explanation of it by Jinbei later on. Now, that being said, I think that Big Mom's true terror doesn't come from her soul-taking ability, but by the amount of damage that she could do. I think that when Big Mom is in her, I'm just gonna call it entranced state, I think that she is nowhere near as powerful and potent as she actually is outside of it. I think that's like mini Big Mom as opposed to Big Mom, because that's the only way I could explain Luffy and the others surviving that long against a character that would have stood a chance against Whitebeard. That's all I'm saying. And yes, she would have stood a chance definitely against the Summit Wars Whitebeard, because the Summit Wars Whitebeard was nothing like Prime Whitebeard, and she was at the same level as Prime Whitebeard, not at the exact same level. Probably like, you know, Prime Whitebeard was stronger than Prime Big Mom. I think Big Mom is around her prime still, even though she is that gluttonous and obese. Now, that being said, I think this video should highlight the absurdity in power between Big Mom's crew and Luffy's crew, and show you that there's still a journey ahead, or journeys ahead, until Luffy's crew could stand a ghost of a chance against Big Mom's crew, along with the Grand Fleet. Now, that being said, overall, yeah, she's probably gonna have a crew equally as strong as Kaido's. And the only reason that Luffy's crew will even stand a chance against Kaido during Wano is because all the Minks are gonna be there, and all the Minks are already basic professionals in terms of armament hockey and elemental hockey in terms of their electro. Now, that being said, if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you have anything to say, please comment down below. And until next time, this is Anime Gypsy. Sorry, hiccups. Anime Gypsy, and I'm out.